I'm Steve Melia from the University of the West of England. I've spent the past 10 years visiting and studying cities across Europe which have revitalised their city centres, changed the way people travel and improved their quality of life by removing motor traffic. Cities such as Copenhagen, Milan and Lyon. I took these images in Paris on the right bank of the River Seine just after it was pedestrianised in 2017. But amongst all of these dynamic cities is one which you probably haven't heard so much about, Leicester in the East Midlands of England. Like a lot of English cities, Leicester suffered an assault of road building in the 1960s. This was the era of the Buchanan Report that advised the government of the day to replan and rebuild towns and cities to accommodate more traffic. Konrad Smigielski, Leicester's first planning officer, followed Buchanan. He even used the same artist to illustrate his plans for Leicester. In fact, road building was only meant to be part of the strategy. Like Buchanan, Smigielski recognised the need to restrain and remove traffic from central areas, but he never got very far with that at the time. It wasn't until the 1980s, under council leader Peter Soulsby, that the first traffic removal began. This area, round Leicester's clock tower, was finally pedestrianised in 1999. Then, in 2011, Soulsby became Leicester's first directly elected mayor.
I think what I inherited when I was elected mayor 6 years ago was something that was very piecemeal, disjointed, and under the slogan of connecting Leicester, I've set about trying to improve the whole of the city centre and to make sure that it is connected.
This flyover, the Belgrave flyover, which used to lead towards the city centre, was demolished in 2014.
Well, the Belgrave flyover was built at a time when the planner's vision was for urban motorways. It was an incredible barrier between the Golden Mile, which is one of the prides of Leicester, and the city centre. And now, of course, it's been opened up, the connection has been made between the Golden Mile and the city centre, and of course we've got some incredible space that is wonderful for day-to-day use, but amazing at times of major festivities such as Diwali.
Traffic removal is always controversial. In all of the European cities I've studied, there was considerable opposition, and Leicester was no different. Jubilee Square, the flagship project of connecting Leicester, was finished in 2015.
This area here was, well, it was a bus lay-by in a car park, and very controversial, but people argued if I changed it, it would somehow kill the city centre. Inevitably there are sceptics amongst the politicians, but also inevitably amongst the traders whose livelihood depends on the vitality of the city centre. And obviously there's a lot of pressure on to maintain the status quo. But of course you can't just maintain the status quo. Times change, retailing changes, city centres need to change with it. But what's most evident and most measurable is the amount of private sector investment that's followed from it. We have seen across the area where we've improved the public realm a very significant amount of private sector investment in shops, in bars, in restaurants, and in making sure that they take advantage of what we in the public sector have created. A couple of decades ago, Leicester city centre, like most city centres, wasn't a place people wanted to make their home and to make their future. That has completely changed, and we've seen a dramatic growth in the number of people who want to see conversions into residential accommodation and the numbers of developers who actually want to invest in new residential accommodation in the city centre.
When I first moved here, we had a road going straight up here. So now with pushchairs, I've got 4 grandchildren, and it would have been nice to have had this when they were quite young.
I think it's really nice because it's given, it's brightened up the whole area, and it's given people a place where they can come and relax in town. It's a really nice green space, I think.
Yeah, we always come here. I'd say we come here quite a lot.
Yeah, we use it a lot. Actually.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do. Just to like chill out with loads of friends and stuff. We use it
Yeah,
quite a
like we
lot.
just came from having breakfast together, and we decided to come here afterwards and like, be in the sun. So
And we spend like quite a lot of the day here, like probably like the whole day if we come.
It was a car park, not landscaped, dull, high profile place, a lot of traffic going by. All they would see is a car park, whereas now they use it for the big events, Champions League football, burial of Richard III, that sort of thing, gets a big screen, and people gather here, and it's a well-used space, I think. It's been very gradual, but in terms of the shift in getting rid of traffic and enabling people to move around easily and safely, it's profound, I think.
No urban design is ever perfect. We did hear some criticism, particularly about this sort of shared space where people are meant to mix with traffic. In some parts of the country, shared space is a growing barrier to vulnerable pedestrians. But these streets here in Leicester are essentially access roads. They're designed to allow essential traffic in and out of the city centre, but not through it. So the volume and the speed of traffic is pretty low. In the European cities that have been most successful in removing traffic and improving their city centres, two factors stand out. One is strong political leadership, and the other is what I call the wow factor. The type of change that when people see it, they would never want to go back. I can't imagine anyone seeing Jubilee Square today who would want to turn it back into a car park.